Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension pre-show. This is Eduardo, joined by the ever so lovely Layla, and of course, all of you in the audience. But Layla, if you could do the great pleasure of letting our audience know what they're in for.
Oh, it would be my greatest honor, Eduardo. So, as per usual, it is currently 5:40 p.m. Pacific time, which means you are here with myself and Eduardo for the pre-show. At 6 p.m. Pacific, in about 20 minutes, you're going to get the Silent Hill Ascension show. And then right after that's done and the Endure is over, you're going to come right back into our warm embrace for the post-show. Eduardo, for folks who may not be familiar with our offerings, would you kindly explain what Silent Hill Ascension is?
I would love to, whether you're familiar with or not. Silent Hill Ascension is a socially interactive streaming series where all of you collectively shape its experience, its ever-evolving story. You collaborate and compete with others to try to make the choices you want to see happen. Now, the important part, right? That decision ends. That's the canon story, because that's the version of the show that everyone sees when they see the episode. What you do today, this night, and forever on many evenings to go, that's the canon story that's shaped by you, the participating audience, every day. Now, one of those scenes actually played out back on Friday. So again, this is where Aurora arrives at the farmhouse and Astrid must decide whether to let her see Orson's troubling behavior. In this case, you decided that, yes, she should. So if you haven't had the pleasure, that's going to be up on your screen. Production's going to throw up our setup scene. Enjoy.
Aurora will be here soon, Angel.
Stupid! Ugly! Stupid little nothing!
Hello. So amazing to see you.
Yes, you as well. Oh, please, come in.
Hi, Orson. It's so nice to see you again. I'm so happy that you're back and safe and... Orson.
Orson, no! Just let me wash the wound, please.
It's fine. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time I've been bitten. Astrid, this behavior, we can't ignore it anymore. It's clear Orson is exhibiting the same violent traits as your mother and elder sister.
I know. If he grows up to be like her,
Hey, listen to me. We're going to make a plan. I've dealt with this kind of thing before. We can figure this out together, okay? But it's gonna be tough, okay? More meetings, more discomfort. But that's what Orson needs. Trust me, I'm here for you. You won't go through this alone.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. I do want to talk about that scene, but first, what we're going to do is we're going to have in our background, because it's a long scene. Production is going to put that up. That's where Xavier prepares for Ascension. Yes, he said the name of the show, and he reveals his plan for Faith to become an aspirant, and he's offering Rachel to join the Foundation. That's a really long scene. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, that's definitely the iconic scene of the week. They'll be playing in the background. We'll cover it. But Layla, I loved our audience reaction to Orson biting. I know on Friday, I like in the pre-show, I was like, I hadn't seen the scene. I was like, I really hope to see Orson bite once again. I was not disappointed.
Yeah, it seems like not only does Orson bite again, but Aurora did call out that she's also been bitten before. So it seems like there's maybe a biting epidemic among the children of Stillidolin, which I think I get it, we have the murders and we have the monsters, but the biting kids I think are also a problem maybe.
Maybe, as somebody said, calcium head bones, right? It's all about the nutrition. It's important for a child to develop that way. And creativity, right? You saw Faith there drawing as usual. Very important for the developing young mind, to smile, to have, to paint, to be creative, to make sure they're well nourished. All of this is good parenting.
Absolutely. When I was little, my favorite thing to draw, because I grew up on telenovelas, I've brought this up on the show before. There was actually a little book my mom has that I wrote about a queen who not only had a child, but also got divorced. A lot happened to her in 4 pages. So, honestly, we should fuel children's creativity. They say the darndest things. They could talk about divorce. They could also talk about monsters, right? You never really know. And I think we should let Faith, I'd rather only maybe Orson bite, and maybe her outlet can be drawing violence.
Yeah, no, to each his own, right? Each child is unique and special, and they're very special in this case. Now, the thing is in that scene you see in the background, right? That, the children are important, but this is clearly, right. He says the title of the show. You always know that's a red herring no matter what you're watching. But the thing here, right, is Rachel really worried about kind of how things are going, right? Xavier's like, I have unbridled optimism, but yeah, it's time for Ascension.
Have you ever seen the movie Tangled, the 2009 film Tangled?
Sure.
The scene where Rapunzel is running around and she's thrilled to be outside the tower, and then she's so depressed, and then she's thrilled to be outside the tower, and then she's so sad. That is what I'm getting from Xavier, because he's like, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're so out, you're so in, and I need your child, but you're out. And there's no... He's a whimsical creature. He's following his basest impulses, and that's fine. But Eduardo, that is the mess happening in Pennsylvania. We do have a decision closing today in Norway, back over the ocean. How will Britt convince Nils to help her? Production has a wonderful graphic for us. We got a couple of choices. This is a fate decision, so they do have the fate markings. So A, apologize for cutting them out. That's the redemption path. B, let them interview her about Ava, the suffering path. Getting interviewed by a podcaster is suffering, that is true. Or C, feign romantic interest.
I feel like suffering, your suffering code might be a little too real. I feel like it's coming from deep within, but we'll not go too much into that. I mean, we do want to visit trauma, but not the kind that's too close to heart. Now,
Of course.
I did want to talk about this, Layla, right? Because while we were like kind of setting up, Redemption and Damnation have been kind of neck and neck for this one, because the audience, seem to really like the character of Britt, but honestly, we understand that you want the escándalo. Now, again, this is feign romantic interest. A little different, but it's still important to recognize, still the salacious option is available there, right? And then it's apologized for cutting them out. So like it's a really close angle here, right, Layla?
It is very close. Now, I have a question for you, Eduardo. Do you think Britt's a good actress?
That's I mean,
For
no.
her to feign romantic
No, she is not a good actress. She's pretty straightforward at dealing with her own demons. She is not a good actress.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because listen, feigning romantic interest is all well and good, but you got to kind of sell the fantasy, and I'm not sure Britt's selling any fantasies right now, which is, why I like her. She's a straightforward gal. She's a straight shooter, respected by both sides. I get that. I'm like, I try to be that myself, but we'll see, I guess. You never know.
Train wrecks are also fun, right? It is a horror show after all, and there are many types of horror we could witness.
Yeah, the cringe kind is the one I try to avoid as much as possible. I can only take so much psychic damage, right?
That's fair, but I mean, we'll see how it works, right? Because like they clearly have a relationship of some kind, right? So I'm looking forward to that. No matter what the decision is, right? That scene's playing tonight. That'll be interesting for you, the audience, to discover. And myself, actually, I'm not 100% on the scene myself here. So the big thing though is that's closing. You got about 15 minutes. Now we're gonna go back again to Pennsylvania. So what we like to do here, right? Talk about the story so far last week. So we got Pennsylvania first. Our production team's gonna put that on screen. Layla's gonna read it for you, and then we're gonna kind of break it down, right?
Absolutely. So Xavier's preparing for Ascension. He said the thing, everybody. Eric discovers Faith hid at the steel mill and deliberates with Nora about what to do with the evidence. Rachel tries to explain Xavier's plans to a reluctant Faith, which may separate her from Eric for good. Before we get into Pennsylvania, I just really quick, we got a lot of chat highlights. I want to shout out my girl Raina Mare, who's been complimenting mine and Noah's hair and makeup for like weeks. I see you. We love you. Thank you so much. We look forward to it every time. It is such a confidence boost. And everyone else who's complimenting us, we love you guys. Thank you so much. But anyway, back to the hot mess.
No, that's like I do want to reiterate. It's awesome, and honestly, it makes me want to like improve as well. I'll try. I know there's the outfit. I'm slower. I'm learning, right? Each person has their specialities. This isn't mine, so I'll try.
You've started accessorizing, and that's really all we can ask of you. Listen, I feel like we've had enough comments on your appearance. You could enter a danger zone if you do much better than you're doing now. So, and it looks like Otaku Gamer X09 says, I always love the hat. So there you go. You got a hat fan.
That's all I can really ask for, right? Like at the end of the day. But no, okay, now we can go back to the story. Sorry about that. Away from the hot mess on your screen. Anyways, so the big thing, right? We talked about Xavier saying the thing, that's important. That scene with Rachel is important too. It is, I think, vital here to talk about that scene between Nora and Eric, right? Where they go at the kind of almost the scene of the crime, so to speak, where she like has been, and like they find a book and a couple of candles in a suspiciousness pattern, and the name is The Agony and Ecstasy of the Heralds, with Nora basically going, that doesn't sound like a children's book. Well, I don't know. Did you have that in growing up, Layla?
I mean, I probably wrote something close to that in my, telenovela-esque era, in my author era. But no, as a child, we stuck to, given some dark stuff, right? I grew up reading some like real classic fairy tales, but would I give that kind of book to my nephews? No, I don't. I don't think so.
No, for sure. But I'm glad, by the way, something else that's not in the story so far, so to speak. We revived Toby. You had the chance to interview that on Friday. That was wonderful as well. I hope a lot of you in the audience got a chance to see that. Because we noticed as well that you really enjoyed that type of interview. Not going to spoil anything. You might want to tune in a couple of Fridays. Oh yeah. Now let's move on to Norway. Norway is a little bit different as well. Things are setting up. Norway's like really, that's kind of slow boil. It's like the Everpot. Things are taking their time, but that's going to be on your screen from our production team, and Layla's going to break it down, as we will both.
Absolutely. So Britt tries to resolve a confrontation she doesn't remember starting. What a mood. Then she faces #smiling Britt. Astrid considers that the Lady of the Lake might be real. She asks Britt to contact Nils for help. Aurora, meanwhile, arrives at the farmhouse, and Astrid must decide if she'll let her see Orson's troubling behavior. As we said, you all, as an audience, decided, yes, absolutely, show her the biting child.
Yeah, no, that's the slight biting there. We got smiling, but the thing is, in Norway, we got all smiles. Orson's smiling, Britt's smiling. It's all great. I'm sure everything's fantastic there. No comments, no notes.
No notes. We got hereditary smiles, biting children. All is as it should be over there in the land of the snow and I believe the smoked herring. Is that where that's from? Ate says, give us smiling Astrid. Who's to say, really?
I mean, they're the same family. It's not a bad call. After all, if it is hereditary, although Astrid doesn't strike me as like kind of the smiling type, she seems like I honestly, out of everybody in our show, because somebody linked the hat to the detective style, Astrid is probably the most detective-ish of her characters, right?
Is that our next prop? Get you a magnifying glass for that shit? Yeah, so she is the closest to being kind of an investigator, which, she's a scientist. I don't know what her science is per se. She works with corpses, but the scientists tend to lend themselves to that sort of thinking. So I do wonder what she'll come up with, because there's a lot of freaky fairy tales in Europe, but I'm not sure any of them have prepared her for this.
No, I don't think so either. But I like that it's kind of like she's trying, like her analytical mind is jumping into it. It's like there's all this kind of nonsense happening in frankness. Like if you grew up in a normal world, what she's seen doesn't make sense. So she's trying to make sense of it. And that's a rough gig, honestly. When in Pennsylvania, they're just like, yeah, this is how the world is. But in Norway, that's not the reality that they're embracing, right? So it's a very different take.
It is. I too am constantly trying to make sense of stuff and not coming up with any real good answers. So I feel like there's a little bit of Astrid in all of us right now. Also is the only one who is not smiling ear to ear and freaking out everybody. We'll see if she got that. Do you think Ingrid has the awful evil smile too?
Ingrid? Ingrid's just the awful.
Okay. Yeah.
The smile's on the dad side, right? Ingrid's just the horror, the awfulness.
That's true. That's fair. Yes, I too inherit selectively from my father's side, so as it tends to happen. But hey, I believe it's almost time for the show.
Oh yeah, we're not far. We got a couple of minutes. So Lila, you're going to explain the endurance scene, and then we're going to break it all down what we've gone for, and what the audience can look forward to.
Absolutely. So when the endurance scene starts, you will have time to time your inputs to the actions you see on screen to help our character. Collective success means that the character's hope will rise, otherwise it will fall. If a character fails enough endurance scenes, they may not survive future encounters, leading to their permanent death in the story. We have seen one death, one survival so far, so we know anything's possible. These endurance scenes are one of the best places to earn large amounts of influence points, so remember, success or failure is a part of the collective story and not an individual judgment on the you. The show is going to start so very soon, so Eduardo, would you give us the honor of a recap?
Sure, of course. So the big topics here, right? Xavier preparing for Ascension in Pennsylvania. Rachel, across the border, though, we got both smiling children. creepily smiling children with their own problems. We both have the Lady of the Woods, a mystery there to be solved, no matter which side. I understand Rachel wants to figure stuff out. She has to deal with Faith, so Eric's kind of taking the lead there. Separated but still together in terms of making the task happen here. And in Nori, right, Astrid's kind of trying to do it all. She's got the child and she's trying to solve the mystery, but she's asking the help from her sister, and that's the other big part, right? Britt is now taking kind of point on that, trying to make things go. But both sides know something's not right. And to be honest, all of our audience knows that something's not right. We can clearly see the monsters. So the big question here is, we're setting up, but to what, right? As the scenes of this week are going to play out, both tonight and in the days to follow, the big question here for you, the audience, is to try to figure out what that mystery is. And I mean, if you don't want to figure it out, it's okay. Just enjoy the scenes. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have to think all the time to relax. I like just seeing people dying in horror shows. It's very funny sometimes. It's very entertaining. And if that's you, don't worry, I'm with you. So no problem there. But as a reminder, what is for certain, no matter what, is that Layla and myself will be back after this show for the post show. We're going to break it all down to you, the events of today, and we're going to set you up for the rest of the week as well, as we love to do. So I was with Layla. This is Eduardo. We wish you a great show, and we'll see you right after.